Welcome to a deep dive into something I think is super fascinating. Um, Manifesting your best self in 2025. We're going to unpack some cool ideas from a recent interview with manifesting expert Roxy Nafousi. She sat down with Grace Beverly on her YouTube channel, working hard, hardly working. And get this, even Grace, a self-proclaimed skeptic of all things manifesting, was impressed by Nafousi's approach.
It's interesting how manifesting has really captured the zeitgeist, wouldn't you say? But like you said, it's often misunderstood as just wishful thinking.
Right, just like wishing on a star and hoping your dreams magically appear.
Yeah. But Nafousi really emphasizes the role of aligned action and self-belief. It's about harnessing the power of your mind to create change. But that change requires you to actively participate. Less like wishing and more like intentionally shaping your reality.
Okay, so it's not passively hoping, it's actively working towards what you want. So where do we even begin if we want to make manifesting work for us? Especially as we're in a new year, how can we kick things off right?
Well, Nafousi suggests a two-part process for starting strong: reflection and vision boarding. Reflection is about taking stock of what's working in your life, and just as importantly, what's not. She recommends asking yourself questions like, what challenges did I face last year? How did I handle them? What do I want to leave behind in 2024? It can be anything from bad habits to relationships that no longer serve you. Even clothes that don't make you feel your best, like decluttering, but for your life.
Oh, I am totally on board with the wardrobe clear out. That's something I can definitely get behind. It's almost symbolic, right? Out with the old energy, making space for the new.
Exactly. But reflection isn't just about letting go, it's also about recognizing the positives. Where did I shine last year? What relationships brought me joy? What successes am I proud of? This helps you move forward with gratitude and momentum. And then the fun part, vision boarding. But with a Nafousi twist, forget those Pinterest collages. She's all about bullet points.
Bullet points. That sounds almost too practical for something called a vision board.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But there's a good reason for it. Specificity. Instead of vague dreams like more money or a better job, think about the exact job title you want, the salary you're aiming for, even the company culture you'd thrive in. It forces you to get crystal clear, which is essential for manifesting to work.
It's like creating a blueprint for your subconscious mind to follow.
Exactly. And this is where the science of manifesting comes in. When you regularly visualize a specific goal, your subconscious mind starts filtering information, and it seeks out opportunities that align with that vision. Have you ever noticed that when you're looking for a specific type of car, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just car shopping,
Yeah.
and it was like every other car on the road was the exact model I was looking at.
That's your subconscious mind at work, confirmation bias. By focusing on your desired outcome, you're training your brain to notice evidence that supports that vision. And that, according to Nafousi, is key to manifesting.
So it's not just wishful thinking, it's about actively rewiring our brains to focus on what we want and to spot those pathways to success. But it's interesting how Nafousi ties self-worth into all of this.
Yes. We tend to manifest what we believe we deserve. If deep down you don't believe you're worthy of success or love or abundance, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You might sabotage your efforts or overlook opportunities because they just feel out of reach.
So it's about aligning our desires with our deepest sense of self. And that's where it gets really powerful. Because when your goals are rooted in genuine happiness and fulfillment, not just external validation, your motivation is unshakable.
Absolutely. It's about having a why that fuels you, even when things get tough, why that resonates with your core values. Speaking of challenges, what are your thoughts on this whole trend? Like 2025 is the year of the rebrand. Seems like everyone's talking about it.
It's everywhere. But I think it can feel a little superficial sometimes, like it's all about a logo refresh, and not enough about genuine internal change.
Nafousi actually talks about that. She's all for rebranding. But with a caveat, it's not about chasing someone else's version of success or making superficial changes. It's about evolving into the best version of yourself.
So less about a new look and more about an internal makeover.
Exactly. It's about stepping into the character of your future self. Who do you want to be in 2025? How do you want to feel? What habits will support that vision? What boundaries do you need to set? Visualize all of that. And then the key is to align your actions with that desired self-image.
I love how practical this is. It's about dreaming big, but also taking concrete steps to embody that future self.
It's a dance between vision and action, but you know, sometimes the biggest obstacle is ourselves, that thing called self-sabotage that can really derail our progress.
Ugh, tell me about it. It's like our minds are playing tricks on us. We set these amazing goals, and then, boom, we find ourselves procrastinating, making unhealthy choices, or falling back into old patterns.
It's a struggle. But Nafousi offers some insights on how to overcome self-sabotage, which we can talk about after a quick break.
Let's talk about the most important relationship in your life, the one you have with yourself. If you struggle with boundaries, find yourself in one sided relationships, or constantly put others' needs before your own, you're not alone. But here's the truth: you deserve to be your own safe place. At Inner Bloom, we help women break free from patterns of self sacrifice and step into deep self trust, confidence, and emotional freedom. With over 70 women coaches teaching our courses, we guide you through things like how to set boundaries that honor your worth, understanding attachment styles and healing those unhealthy relationship patterns, and learning how to prioritize yourself without guilt. But Inner Bloom isn't just a place to learn, it's also a thriving community of over 6,000 supportive women who are on this journey with you. And right now, you can get lifetime access to all of our resources in this incredible community for just $97. Visit wellnesscourseforwomen.com or click the link in the description below to learn more about Inner Bloom today.
Okay, so back to self-sabotage. I'm ready for some actionable strategies. I know I'm not the only one, right? Battling those inner demons.
Well, she really emphasizes that awareness is the first step, recognizing your patterns and understanding why you do the things you do.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed I procrastinate on things that just feel overwhelming. It's like my brain just avoids it.
That's a perfect example. Our subconscious minds often seek comfort, even if that comfort isn't actually good for us long term. She has this analogy about dieters. Dieters who reward themselves with unhealthy food after a few days of eating well. They've stepped outside their comfort zone, and they want to pull themselves back into familiar patterns.
Oh, that makes sense. Like we're fighting our own wiring.
Yeah, in a way. But we can rewire it. Nafousi suggests a few things. One is to push through the discomfort. Visualize how good you'll feel if you resist temptation. Focus on the long-term rewards.
Reminding yourself of the why and not letting those urges derail your progress.
Exactly. Another thing is she recommends reset days, like a self-care retreat, where you can recharge, reflect, and get back on track.
I love that. Sometimes you just need that pause button to regroup. But what about the people around us? Friends, family. How does that play into this whole rebranding?
That's so important. A lot of people struggle with that. You know that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your circle isn't aligned with where you want to go, it can be hard to level up.
Yeah, like you're being held back by the people around you.
Mm.
Or even that fear that you'll lose friends if you start changing your lifestyle. Or pursuing different things.
Totally. But Nafousi has some good advice about that. She says friendships evolve naturally. Some fade as our lives change, while others stay strong. The key is to focus on adding new connections, rather than getting rid of old ones.
So it's not about making cuts. It's about expanding your world and welcoming in new people.
And remember, your true friends will support your growth. Grace actually talks about how she gradually shifted her social circle. She didn't cut people off, she expanded her world.
That's inspiring. It's about finding that balance, honoring existing relationships, and creating space for new ones. This has been so insightful, so much ground covered, from reflection and vision boarding to overcoming self-sabotage and the people we surround ourselves with. Now, what about manifesting love? I'm sure people are curious about that.
You're right, that's a big one. We actually got a question about that from a listener. So let's get into Nafousi's 7 steps.
Okay, I'm ready for the secrets.
Well, it all starts with self-worth. Before you even think about dating apps, you need to believe you're worthy of a good relationship.
So step 1, self-love.
Exactly. And that means addressing past wounds, insecurities, negative beliefs about relationships. Therapy, journaling, meditation, all those things can help.
Okay, so we've done the work. What's next? Are we ready to get out there?
Yes. Step 3 is aligned action. Go on dates, say yes to invitations, try the dating apps, create those opportunities.
But what about those bumps? What if you keep attracting the wrong people? Or you're just having bad luck on the apps?
That's where step 4 comes in. Overcoming those tests. It's important not to settle. Don't waste your time on something that doesn't feel right.
Having standards, boundaries, trusting the right person will show up.
Exactly. Step 5 is gratitude. Don't put your happiness on hold. Appreciate what you have. She calls this the manifesting sweet spot. wanting something, but also being grateful for what you already have.
Enjoying the journey.
Right.
Yeah.
And that leads to step 6, turning envy into inspiration instead of feeling bad when you see happy couples. Let their love inspire you.
Reframing it.
And finally, step 7, trust the universe. Let go of the anxiety and just surrender.
So action, but also letting go.
It is. That trust is hard, but it's important. Speaking of powerful tools, Nafousi is big on affirmations. Have you tried those?
I have, but I'm not sure I'm doing them right or if I really believe in them.
Well, she believes repeating positive statements can reprogram your mind. Her favorite is, I am enough. Simple but powerful.
Yeah, shifting from lack to wholeness.
Exactly. And you can choose affirmations that resonate with you. For example, if you're stuck in your career, you might say, I am ready for a breakthrough. Or if you lack confidence, try, I am confident and capable.
Like choosing a mantra. But I think what trips me up is that disconnect between what I'm saying and my reality.
That's common. And it leads to something Nafousi talks about, taking back control. She says the first step to regaining control is deciding to do it.
It's easy to feel like things are just happening to you, especially when the world feels so chaotic.
Oh, yeah. But we're not powerless. We have choices to make. And the first step is deciding to take control.
It's like saying, okay, this is where I'm going and I'm making it happen.
Exactly. And this reminds me of something Grace said about feeling overwhelmed by this pressure to be perfectly balanced, trying to do it all, have it all, be it all.
Oh, I feel that. Like we have to be crushing it in every area of our lives.
Right. It's impossible. But she realized that balance doesn't have to mean everything being perfect all the time. It's more about recognizing there are seasons. Yeah, like sometimes you need to go all in on one thing, even if other things have to take a back seat for a bit.
So it's okay if everything isn't perfect all at once.
Exactly. It's about focusing on what matters most right now.
Giving ourselves permission.
Yes.
It's like nature. There's a time for growth, a time for rest.
It's a cycle.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening. Manifesting is so much more than I thought.
It's more than just the practical stuff. It's a whole mindset.
So, to wrap things up, what's the one thing we want to leave our listener with for their own 2025 journey?
I think it's about that power of choice. Choosing to believe in yourself. Choosing to trust that good things are coming.
Because, as Roxy says, you have the power to change your life.